Hello, everybody, and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Monday, December 4th, 2017. I am Michael Schwan.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
I am very confused because YouTube just told me that what? In any case, real quick, I'm going to get through the intro and then I'll explain what...
I'm going to actually move this mic up to my face again.
Okay.
I'm just going to hold it.
Okay. Did you listen to it and realize how much better it sounds?
No, I don't like I really don't like listening to myself.
No?
So I prefer not to do that, which is unfortunate because I have to do mic tests now, which is really annoying because I find my voice very aggravating.
Sure.
However, I felt like it was probably a smarter idea.
Sure, it does sound cleaner. I can tell you that much. No, the reason that I was confused, so I have the live real quick in the intro real quick. Aside from the other stuff, I'm going to continue to plug until we actually do it. Next Thursday is going to be episode 400. It's a milestone for us. I owe you all a white boy rap, and we are going to get that to you on that day, as well as we are going to be doing a Q&A, an AMA, whatever you want to call it, question and answers, ask me anything, etc., etc. Please submit your questions wherever that you can get them to us, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Send them to us in an email, feedback.ireadit@gmail.com. Colin, leave us a voicemail and ask the question, 508-738-2278. Send us a message anywhere that you can. You can send it directly to us, send it to me, send it to Nathan, whatever. Just get your questions in, and we'll be answering as many of those, if not all of them, that we can on Thursday, which is going to be December, 10th, I want to say. Nope, it's going to be December, 16th. Anyway.
Okay, yeah.
No, it'll be December 14th. There we go. I can do math. In any case, that'll be next Thursday for episode 400. Now, the reason that I'm confused is because I always have my live dashboard for YouTube up so I can see the show, right? Oh, that's why. So, okay. I'm less confused now. I was like, man, why is it like...
Congratulations. That makes one of us.
Okay, well, so it was telling me... I'm on YouTube, right? And it was telling me you have to view this live stream on YouTube.
Okay.
And that's why I was confused, because it was like, this cannot be viewed through other websites. You have to watch it on YouTube. And I'm like, I'm on YouTube. I'm on my dashboard. What do you mean? I had to re-log in to one of my accounts for Google, and Google and YouTube are connected. And so it thought I was no longer signed into it, and it got very confused.
Oh, okay.
But
I see.
I think it's...
So you fixed everything now, though.
Maybe the page isn't opening yet. So, I mean...
Fantastic, man.
Oh, there it goes. Yay, all right. I made it. We got there. So anyway, Nathan, how are you?
Today was an interesting day.
Yeah? In a good or a bad way?
It has its ups and downs.
Yeah? You work in the elevator business?
I mean, might as well at this point.
So what's up? What happened?
Well, I mean, it was just an awkward day in DV. I had to do. They put me on the job of actually doing all of the in-courting for that day.
Sure. Luckily,
we only had 3 hearings because that would have taken for fucking ever. But I did the 3 hearings. I just I fucking was very awkward when it came to the phone portion and having people rise and swearing them in. But at the same time, not only was I doing training as an in-court, there was also the security guard had a security guard person in training, and the judge had another judge in training. And then there was awake advocates in the back who also had more awake advocates in training.
Fun.
So literally the entire room was full of people in training.
Did it go okay?
I mean, it went pretty well. I had some really damn good log notes from what I understand.
Cool. Congratulations. Good work, sir.
Thank you.
I had a very busy weekend. The kiddo had some taekwondo stuff that she had to go to on Saturday. And then I rearranged part of the living room and hung a TV. And then I went and announced 3 games of Derby on Saturday night.
Okay.
So there was that. Sunday was D&D, but I had to do some running around, and I got 3 new hats. One of them was this fucking sick-ass Kingdom Hearts one. It's got a fucking Kingdom Hearts symbol, and on this side we got the king and friggin' the Heartless symbol and Hercules, and then on the other
Hercules.
On the other side, Hercules. That's not Kingdom Hearts. Got Mickey, and doing this in reverse is very difficult, and a Keyblade, and on the back we got Beauty and the Beast. And it's great. It's awesome. Yeah. I love hats.
That's awesome.
And we
now to wait for the next game for the next decade.
It should be out at the earliest by the end of next year.
Hopefully.
I said at the earliest. It could take significantly longer.
Fingers crossed.
Well, that's like there was a leak that came out of Square Enix that was like they're not going to announce anything for the remake of Final Fantasy VII until after Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. And I'm like, fuck. So we don't get anything ever.
Well.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Whatever. I'll just go back in my hole. We'll just talk about some news. How about that?
Yeah. Let's finish up these news.
You mean start them?
Yeah, finish them up. We're already like halfway through.
Yeah, right. Colin Kaepernick, a finalist for Time Person of the Year.
This was submitted by 3010191 to our politics.
Is that so?
Yeah.
That is crazy, sir. Does this article actually have the full list? Darn. Okay, I think I can get the full list real quick and easy here, though. In any case, Time has released their short list for the Person of the Year. It's going to be announced on Wednesday, so presuming that it is released at a time that is before our show takes place. And since our show takes place super late in the evening, it'll probably have already been announced, and we'll talk about it. But the short list for Time's Person of the Year has been released. If you're curious of who those are, and by the way, the person or persons of the year, It is not who was the greatest person that year. It is who made the largest amount of news. Who is the largest name or the largest group of people in news? Because Time Magazine is a news magazine, for those that need that clarification. So what it is, so it's not necessarily like this was the greatest person every year. No, it is who made the biggest deal in news. Okay? So, real quick, your 10 people on Time's Person of the Year or group of people for the year shortlist is Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon, and he recently became the richest man in the world.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that. He's the guy who's going to produce the fucking Amazon TV show for Lord of the Rings.
Yep, the Dreamers, which the Dreamers are the undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. by their parents when they were children. Those were all the people that were going to be kicked out by the DACA.
I thought you meant Tommy Dreamer and another person whose last name is Dreamer. But, okay. So we're not talking about wrestling.
No.
I was like, why is that guy in the fucking
news? The Dreamers of the people that came over as children and then were given by the DACA, said, well, you were here when you were 3. It may have been not entirely legitimate when you were, but it is now.
Congrats, you're here.
Yeah. Patty Jenkins, that is the director of Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman broke a ton of records. It was also the first film directed by a woman that made over $100 million in its opening weekend.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yep, it was a fantastic movie. An absolutely fantastic movie. If you've not seen Wonder Woman yet, go see it because it's the best thing that DC has released since The Dark Knight.
Yeah, but that's not really saying much because DC's not very good at live-action films.
Yeah, they're not.
So much so that they've already started making a Flashpoint film, or started the process of writing a Flashpoint film, which was already a storyline in the Flash television series.
The next is Kim Jong-un, because, well, that's a lot of news, North Korea right now, and it's under his regime. Oh,
yes.
So, Colin Kaepernick, he was the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. He was the first of the NFL players to take a knee. He took that knee in protest of racism and police brutality, and has sparked a large amount of controversy across the entirety of the NFL from henceforth. Currently is actually caught up in a grievance claim with the NFL because he was released from the 49ers and he has not been signed on to another team, and he believes that he is being discriminated against because of his actions.
Yeah, I can understand feeling that way from your point of view.
The Me Too movement is the next one, which we've talked about it almost every day on the show for the last 4 months.
Yeah.
Because everyone is terrible people.
That's absolutely true. My thing of the day has to do with that.
Robert Mueller, the special counsel for the FBI after James Comey was released. Robert Mueller is currently the special counsel that is conducting the Russian investigation in terms of if they had any level of collusion with the 2016 presidential election.
Okay, yeah. I can understand him being on there, too.
Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and that is the 32-year-old...
Is that my Nigerian uncle?
No, that is the 32-year-old Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia that has just been...
the super cool guy.
Yeah, the dude that's kind of been revolutionizing Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
He's the one that's like,
I don't know enough about him to call him a super cool guy.
But
I mean, I guess I do that for the Pope too.
He's the one that's been like, working on. He said that women should be able to drive. He's giving them more. He's moving Saudi Arabia in line with other leading nations around the world. So
that's super cool.
And then we have Donald Trump, which I mean, he was
understandably so. He's been in the news from previous to January all the way through.
I would say every single day for the last 2 years. Like
he might finally get his face on a Time magazine, like his Photoshop before.
Well, he was Person of the Year last year.
Well, I mean, he also Photoshopped his face on a couple and put him up in his golf club. So
nice, good work, buddy. And then last is Xi Jinping, which that is the current president of China. And he's been doing a lot of work for China. After a couple changes, he now has comparatively the most power that a president in China has ever had, and has been really just doing a lot with it since then.
That's really good because I'll tell you what, China does not have the best fucking reputation.
So, as I said, remember that this is not who is the greatest person of the year. This is the most newsworthy person or group of people of the year. So whoever made the most, not necessarily the most controversy, but was the biggest name in news for the prior year. And
like how everyone was talking about it.
Yeah, so, I mean, in terms of who's going to get it, I'm not sure. There's a couple people that I'm like, I doubt you'll get it. Like, unfortunately, I doubt Patty Jenkins will get it. I don't believe that Jeff Bezos will get it. The Dreamers were talked about a lot, but for only a short amount of time. Same with Colin Kaepernick's thing. It wasn't something that they continued to go on to.
I don't know. They're still kind of talking about it, and every time they bring up the fucking NFL thing, they bring up his name.
Right, but I feel like a lot of the NFL protests had started to slow down a lot until Donald Trump sent out a tweet on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. We'll find out in about 48 hours, less than 48 hours, so we will be sure to inform you who Time's Person of the Year is in just a short amount of time. Yeah.
So, here's hoping.
For who? Who do you think is going to get an name?
I was going to say, here's hoping, for each of you to be okay with who's up there, but
and really,
for me personally, I want to see Bezos up there.
Like, honestly, it doesn't, like, I wouldn't even be upset if Trump got it, because it's not an award. It's a recognition of somebody who is influential in the world, and I can't deny that for Trump. And yeah. I mean, I could even
it could be negatively influential. It could be positively influential.
Yeah, David said, "I bet it's Kim Jong fuckface. He's the only one on there willing to end the world," and it might be. I mean, he's been a continual worldwide controversy forever. Not ever, but it's felt like a really long time. So,
yeah.
9.
Supermarket chain to sell food up to a month past its best before date in an attempt to slash waste.
Yo, that's amazing. This was submitted by Matt as a Hatter to Our World News. A couple of places have started doing this, huh?
Well,
okay, they had specific ones that did this.
One important thing here is that there is the use by date and the best before date. Those are important differences. They will not sell anything past the use by date. So, because then it is no longer safe for human consumption. So, a lot of that comes from things like meat, fish, dairy, stuff that expires quickly and then is normally completely not safe for you to eat. Like, friggin' rotten meat, spoiled milk, don't consume those. But there's lots of food that have a best before date, which is the date when they're like, it would taste better if you ate it before that date. But you can eat it afterwards and it'll be okay. It's no different like cereal has a best before date. Like, it'll be more fresh if you eat it by, January. But afterwards, it might be a little stale, but it's still completely safe to eat. And so, trying to cut down on waste, a major supermarket chain, and it doesn't actually say the name, it just says a supermarket chain. I wonder if this link tells me. It's in Europe, so I mean, it might not even be something that we recognize anyway. Approved Food is the name.
Approved Food.
Apparently. In any case, they are going to be selling food past a month past its best before date at an extreme discount.
I approve.
Like 10 pence, essentially.
I like that, because wasn't there a couple places in America that was doing that? They weren't like major fast food, or not fast food. They weren't major food chains or anything. They just kind of like they were like a specific supermarket set up for it.
I don't know.
I remember reporting about it.
It was
I think it was like in Seattle. There's a place that would buy all the extra just food that can't be used at the other stores and sell it there for much discounted.
There was also the place that would buy the ugly food.
Yeah, that's also true.
Because a large amount of food in the grocery store is picked on its aesthetic. Like, you don't find ugly apples, but there's tons of ugly apples that are perfectly fine to eat. They're just not pretty.
Yeah, no, not every apple can be the beautiful red apple or green apple that you want.
Joe in the chat room says it's interesting because the best before date is not regulated by the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. This is in Europe, so they don't have the FDA. They have the Food Standards Agency, and they do regulate the best before date. So it is still regulated by the same people that have the use by date. It's the same thing here. But they're going to be selling at a massive discount. They've put out tests in several different places. Massive success so far. They can't keep anything that they put on that particular section on the shelf because people are like, wow, that's some cheap food. Thanks.
Lee in the chat says Aldi's kind of does that where I'm at. Lee is in Iowa.
Aldi's is pretty sick. I really wish we had one.
I don't know what Aldi's is.
Aldi's is now it's a pretty massive grocery chain, but it started.
Is it like Middle America?
I don't know all. I know it's not up
Central.
here.
No, it's not Central America, because Central America is an actual shit, my phone fell. Like that, not archipelago. Like the bit, Mexico into Panama and everything.
I don't know where exactly they're located. I know they're a multi-billion-dollar company now, and they sell not many name brands. They sell a lot of off-brand stuff. They sell a lot of their own brand stuff, and as Lee said, they sell food that is close to use by date. Sometimes it's damaged stuff, but you can go into Aldi's and buy $100 of food at Walmart for $20. It's immensely cheaper.
That's fucking cool. I like that.
So, and it'll be cool to see what this does too, because
it seems like it'd be really good for college faring towns.
Well, and even more than that, it just helps reduce waste, because there is 16 billion pounds worth of wasted food every year in Europe. That is approximately.
I mean, I feel like we have even more.
Oh, we probably do, and that's approximately $700 per household.
God, that's a lot.
So they're like, well, maybe we can cut down on that.
Lee says he thinks they're in Europe. Name something else.
Oh, in Aldi, Aldi's is in Europe. Name something else. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Cross continental.
Oh, I can't buttons. There we go.
8.
A Chinese girl adopted by an American family after her birth parents were forced to abandon her 22 years ago is miraculously reunited with her biological parents after a series of improbable coincidences.
This is submitted by Ord, but last time medic to our uplifting news.
That was a real long headline, but I didn't really quite know how to shorten it down. In any case, so this was back in 1990 something, 95, yeah.
95.
Yeah, good job, Nathan. Way to do math. And at the time, China was still...
I didn't do math. I read the thing.
That's cool. China at the time was still under the rule of you can only have one child because they had overpopulation problem. That rule is now gone. But at the time, you could only have one kid. And if you had another kid, then, well, I don't know what happened to it, but I think they just threw it away.
No. If you're going to have a kid, you were supposed to abort it.
Oh, okay. So in a really barbaric sense, exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ended up having another kid. Kid was a girl. They already had a girl. They didn't know what to do, so they had an at-home birth hidden away. There was complications with birth. Doctor came, helped them survive, and then they bundled the baby up and wrote a note for the child, and then gave it to an adoption agency, essentially. And
left it in a market, really.
Well, yeah, that's an adoption agency, right?
Left her in a market, rather.
Yeah. In any case, so where'd the actual text? Like, I see the. Okay, here we go. Here is what the note that they left with their daughter. Our daughter, Jingzi, was born at 10 a.m. on the 24th day of the 7th month of the lunar calendar, 1995. We have been forced by poverty and affairs of the world to abandon her. Oh, pity the hearts of fathers and mothers far and near. Thank you for saving our little daughter and taking her into your care. If the heavens have feelings, if we are brought together by fate, then let us meet again on the broken bridge in Hangzhou on the morning of the Qixi Festival in 10 or 20 years from now. So,
where's Jin when we need him? Like, you probably pronounce all that shit properly.
I felt like I did all right on those. I didn't feel like I butchered them.
Makes one of us.
Wow, Nathan. Come on. Give me a little bit here. She was taken in. She was then adopted by an American family. Her name now is Catherine Poehler, and she had aside from being an adopted kid, had a pretty good upbringing. She's 22 years old, is in college, and her parents decided that they...
Yo, are you saying being adopted sucks? Because, like, I feel like being adopted to the right family would be fucking dope.
I didn't say it sucks. I said it was different, and it leads to a different childhood.
That's fair. It does.
Like, especially when you are a Chinese girl that has been adopted by a very white family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
but I mean, they had other family members that were Chinese.
Sure, and it's really cool. I'm just saying that it does affect you. It does. In any case, the parents said, we're not going to show her the letter until she's 18, and then even then we're only going to show her if she asks, if she expresses interest. She did. They showed her the letter, and then they're like, okay, well, do you want to go? Yeah, I think I would. And so it ended up not being 20 years, but 22 years, but the parents went every year anyway. So they went there, they ended up running into them, they managed to connect, and it was like, this is technically posted to our uplifting news, but it's not that uplifting because she wasn't terribly excited. They had a huge language barrier because she didn't speak Mandarin and they didn't speak any English. And also, she was at the point now of like, I don't really know you, like...
Yeah, she's like, I'm meeting you not really as my parents, but as adults.
Yeah, and she wouldn't call them mom or dad, and she's like, I don't even call my adopted parents mom or dad. I call them by their first names.
That's such an awkward situation. And,
like, they were, like, real concerned for her because she was skinny, and she's like, I like what I look like right now, actually, and... Like, and they felt so bad for her because she was working a part-time job while she was in college. She's like, nope, I actually enjoy it right now. And so it was not quite the meeting that everyone envisioned, but it was still relatively happy all around.
The scenario, the story of it is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's thrilling, you can make that you can spin that into a movie.
I suppose it would be a very interesting movie if it plays out the same way as this story does.
Yeah, no. You go based on true facts, right? So this is how it plays out.
Okay, I'm listening.
It starts off the same way. She's adopted the same way into a very Christian family. The family's very open, or no, the family's very secretive about it, and then later in a very comedic way it comes out, and they hand her the note, and she, I don't know, maybe doesn't know Chinese, so she figures out, she takes some time, figures out what it says, and then figures out when that is, and is like, oh, that's like this year, blah, 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 and then heads over there, meets them on the bridge during the specific time that they're supposed to be there, where it's like the most magical, because it's based off of a festival. It's essentially like their Valentine's Day.
Right.
So you spin it like that. Make it all magical and make it a happy ending. She meets them. They all live happily ever after. Both families are very okay with being now a giant, open, Chinese-American family.
Cool.
This way, you premiere it in America, and people are like, that's a pretty good, love story, or not love story. It's a pretty good happy ending, and blah, 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 blah. and then you premiere it in China, and it helps boost the Chinese-American relations.
Good plan, Nathan. Make it happen.
I'm okay.
Oh, okay.
7.
13-year-old commits suicide after being bullied at school.
This is submitted by Xer to our news.
So, I'm going to try and fix the Skype thing real quick. I'm not excited to talk about this story, and I'm going to summarize it as best I can.
Oh, okay.
Girl is 13 years old, getting bullied at school very harshly, asks for help, does not get help. Attempts suicide, is unsuccessful in suicide, but does leave herself in a semi-vegetative state. Parents decide to take her off life support.
That's even harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yep. And what made it even worse is that she had asked for help, received none, and in her letter, her suicide note, even apologized to her mom for what was going to happen.
Oh. Man, that's brutal.
You want to know what's really fucked up?
What?
The story, obviously, as we were talking about it, it went, semi-viral. It got spread around the internet and stuff. People started sending the family jokes. One picture that has, "Hey, Mom, next time don't tuck me into this," with her child pointing at a bed. "Tuck me into this," pointing at a grave. You are sick, terrible people.
Those are not the memes that you should be posting.
And there is a very special place for people like you.
That's fucked up.
A very special place, and I hope you go there. The family has set up a GoFundMe to help pay for her services in terms of, everything that's happened. They had a $15,000 goal. It has since hit $40,000.
Oh, that's amazing. That is way more than they asked for.
And that's good, because $15,000 probably wouldn't have been enough.
Yeah, no. Not by any stretch. Fucking, it's expensive for funerals. They always try to upsell you, too.
Yep. So, yeah, I have nothing else to say on this besides don't be jerks and take people seriously. Because, when it comes to this, it is something that I do not, and no one should ever, joke about. There are so many people, especially online, that'll be like, "Huh, man, you're fucking stupid. Kill yourself." Don't.
That's very toxic.
Don't. And if anyone mentions, even if you think it is jokingly, mentions ideations of that sort, take it seriously. Because
absolutely.
I would also like to point out there is a difference between Nathan's jokes that he makes about, "Yes, the end is coming," and someone saying that they are in a heavily depressive state and are considering killing themselves.
If I was serious, you guys would know. I guess it's still kind of fucked up that I joke about that, but I don't know. You can't be a comedian without being fucked up in some way.
Sure, but it's also like talking about "Yes, the void is coming for me" is significantly different than the people that are especially even more so when they're in the outcry for help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there are some people that it catches everybody by surprise. This was not a surprise, which makes it all the worse.
She was pretty much screaming for help.
6.
Trump lawyer claims the president cannot obstruct justice.
This was submitted by Led Back to Our Politics. Yo, is he right?
No, he's not.
Oh, that's what I thought.
John Dowd, President Trump's outside lawyer. So this is not the president's lawyer. This is Donald Trump's personal lawyer, essentially. And he said the president cannot obstruct justice because he is the chief law enforcement officer under Constitution Article 2 and has every right to express his view of any case. Now, that said, the current appointed by Donald Trump Attorney General of the United States, Mr. Jeff Sessions, has argued that the president can obstruct justice, and that was in regards to the Clinton case. So,
so he absolutely can.
Now, it's interesting on how you want to listen to it, how you want to, because technically the president has the ability of pardon, so he could not obstruct the case and let something happen and then pardon them, and that would technically be within the rules.
Huh. Okay. But it's not. But it's just technicalities.
And that's what it is. It's a lot of really, really limited technicalities. And the reason that this came out is because a tweet came out of Donald Trump's Twitter that suggested that Trump knew that Flynn had lied to the FBI when he was fired. And Mike Flynn has since recently pled guilty to lying to the FBI. And so people are like, well, if he knew that and he didn't say anything and he didn't do anything and anything like that, that's obstruction of justice. I mean... One, currently it has since been said that Trump's lawyer, John Dowd, is the one who wrote that tweet, which, regardless, I'm not sure if that matters. And considering that the powers that the president does have, I'm not sure if he can technically... I mean, it would be very difficult, especially because obstruction of justice normally isn't something that is the only thing you are charged for.
Right.
Normally it's other stuff, and then that is ancillary. That is other stuff that is added on of like, well, you're a bad person. This is the stuff you're getting in trouble for, and we're just going to give this to you too because we literally have the book to throw at you.
That's okay. So right now it's just loophole after loophole after loophole after loophole.
That's how most law is anyway. Is knowing the loopholes and how they work, and really this is a lot of air and not a lot of substance right now.
Right now.
Because, and the other thing is could that even go anywhere if he did know that Flynn lied to the FBI? So.
I see. Okay.
It's a difficult situation, and there's just not enough right now for any of it to truly be relevant. But, the other section is that the lawyer is providing a defense for Trump when there has not been anything truly put forward yet, which also makes everyone raise their eyebrows.
Yeah, that's like, are you sure you're not being a dickhead?
So.
It's like they jump to it. We're not dickheads.
That said, charges have been brought against 4 people by the FBI. Special Counsel Robert Mueller is bringing people in. He's starting to, actually, all right, well, drop that hammer down, drop that hammer down. If something's going to come of it in regards to Donald Trump, regardless whether when he was a candidate, presidential-elect, or the president, we will most likely see something in that within the next year. Because that investigation is starting to get up to its peaks.
It's going to hit its crescendo.
5.
China launches the world's first all-electric cargo ship, and will use it to haul coal.
This is submitted by Asparagus Tasty to R Not the Onion. Wow.
Uh-huh. It is a 230-foot-long vessel with a 2,400 kilowatt lithium-ion battery with enough electrical energy to transport 2,200 tons of cargo 50 miles on a single charge at a top speed of 8 miles per hour. It will take 2 hours to recharge, which is the approximate time that it would take to load or unload the ship at its destinations, and its primary purpose is going to be to haul coal.
That's painful, dude.
Yeah.
That's really painful.
Uh-huh. The immense amount of irony of the most economically friendly ship.
No, they're not hauling iron, they're hauling coal.
Oh, God.
It's a pun.
The most economically friendly ship being used to haul the most environmentally harmful substance we have found.
Is it the most environmentally harmful substance?
I mean, in terms of...
Or is it your farts?
No, it is not your farts, Nathan. And it is... I mean, in terms... I'm like, friggin' depleted uranium is more destructive, but there's not as much of it, and it is not widely as used as coal is.
That's fair.
Like, I mean, if we started using as much uranium as we did coal, yeah, but that title would be lost.
I'm sorry. I guess the most economically unfriendly thing would probably be like, I don't know, our League of Legends or the League of Legends you know, just game in general.
Are you done?
I hate League of Legends.
Why? You used to play it.
Yeah, and now I don't, and I haven't played it in years.
Very well. Very well.
I haven't played a MOBA in like 2.
GOP tax reform. We'll get to the submitted buys in just a moment. So, if you didn't hear, over the weekend, the Senate Republicans
snuck it in.
No, not really. I mean, it was like the skin of their teeth. It was a 51-49 vote. They lost a ton of Republicans on this vote. 51-49, the Senate Republicans have passed their tax reform plan, and
which it does more than just tax reform.
Well, there's two things on this, is that it is currently in conference because the House has passed a tax bill and the Senate has passed a tax bill, but they are not the same. The House bill, the Senate bill has 7 brackets, the House bill has 4. So, and there's a few other differences in there. So, it's not here yet, but if they can reach an agreement before they exit session on December 15th, it'll go to the president's desk. If the president signed it, then huzzah, it is now in place. So what that is, and the reason that people are concerned about it is because it is going to kick the can down the road, is what has been referred to a lot. It'll be a short benefit for you and then a long-term detriment if something is not done later. For the vast majority of the nation, they will see less taxes. The largest tax breaks are on the higher end of that, especially for corporations and extremely wealthy people. So, but they also have more money, so if the same percentage cut ends up meaning that they get more money back, but the cuts aren't. Anyway, I don't need to go into the actual details of it. So it'll mean that you will have more money, businesses will have more money, and then you're like, well, what does that mean in terms of the budget? Well, it means there's a deficit. It means that the deficit will continue to grow. The idea behind cutting people's taxes, they have more money, they would spend more money, businesses would have more money, so they would pay their workers more and invest more. Problem is, the majority of businesses have already come out and said, we don't intend on doing that. We are already stable in the way things are, so we would just be returning those profits to our investors. The companies that benefit have already said that they intend to do this. So what does that mean in terms of the budget, in terms of what happens with the country? Well, it means that you will have more money in your pocket today, but if something is not addressed, something is not dealt with it over the next decade, because that is what the plan currently covers, then at the end of that, the nation will be an additional $1.5 trillion in debt beyond the debt that it will already accumulate. An additional $1.5 trillion will be made from the tax deficit created by this plan, and then it needs to be addressed later, which most people expect will mean the cutting of public services or significantly increased tax in about a decade. So that's where that is currently. You will have more money across the next few years, and then depending on what happens, you may continue to have more or may have significantly less. Just kind of depends, and that's why it's kicking the can down the road.
It's going to bottleneck if you thought there was no middle class now.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, so that's what happened. That's where it's at. That's what you need to know. But there is a beautiful level of rudeness coming from some of these GOP senators, and we're going to talk about the two of them, 2 cases anyway, real quick. Keep in mind there are 52 Republican senators. No, there are 50? 52?
52, I think.
There's 2 independents, 52 and 48 Democrats. 52 Republicans, 48 Democrats. So, the first is a GOP senator says it's hard to find $14 billion, hard to fund $14 billion of a children's health care program, and then advocates for a $1 trillion tax cut.
This is submitted by the autarch to our politics.
So this $14 billion goes to CHIP, which is a child's health care program. Children's Health Insurance Program is what CHIP stands for. It is extremely important for families that do not have money, for ill-gotten families, or families that are experiencing humongous expenses because of something medically wrong with their child. Senator Orrin Hatch, a Republican from Utah, who is somebody that signed off on the Republican tax plan, said that because recently CHIP its funding has not been re-upped yet. It has been without funding for about 2 weeks, and they're like, well, where's the funding for this important program? And when asked about it, he said, well, it's really hard to find $14 billion for the program because there's just not money anymore. The country doesn't have money anymore. which is funny when he just signs off on a bill that results in the government having less money. Now, again, I would like to point out that this is a stray of numbers, considering that it is estimated the tax plan will increase the deficit by $1 to $1.5 trillion over the next 10 years, whereas $14 billion is for 1 year of funding for CHIP. So,
I see.
The reason that he was asked,
so you take $1 trillion and you divide it by 10, right?
Yeah, which is a trillion is friggin' 1,000 million, so it'd be 100 million. Each year-ish. 100 to 150 million each year. Now, the reason that this particular senator was asked about it is because Orrin Hitch is one of the people that helped create CHIP.
Maybe 100 billion?
Yeah, billion. Sorry. Thanks for that.
Yeah, you fucked that up.
Yeah, well, I got the number right, just not the number. Whatever. Shut up.
I got the number right, just not the number.
Yeah, so
Michael, 2020.
He helped create.
He'll do your budgets.
He helped create CHIP, and is now being a punk when it comes to keeping it funded.
How are you going to create something like that? Oh wait, it's like creating life and then just ignoring it for the next 18 years.
Hey, the other one is a GOP senator said no tax cuts for working people because they blow them on booze or women.
That was submitted by Bernie Bernstein to Our Politics.
That's not quite the actual quote, but it's really close. So it's in regards to how the wealthy and businesses are getting larger tax cuts than poor people. And when asked about it, he said, I think not having the estate tax recognizes that people are investing, as opposed to those that are just spending every darn penny they have, whether it's on booze or women or movies. That saying that people who invest money are more deserving of tax cuts because they don't waste their money on frivolities.
That's stupid.
It's no different than that freaking GOP representative or whatever that it was like, people would be able to afford health care if they didn't buy a new iPhone every year. Like, you are so out of touch and disconnected from this. You clearly do not understand the situation that hundreds of millions of people are in. You don't get it.
And a lot of those times you get those iPhones for like fucking dirt cheap.
Yeah, or it's an extra $20 a month. Like,
yeah.
And you're like, I'm broke anyway, so sure.
Yeah, at that point you're just like, my hole's already deep. Whatever.
Yeah, they just clearly don't understand.
There's definitely a point that you dig yourself to where after that point you're just like, well, I'm fucking already fucked. I don't even give a shit anymore.
You already hit the bottom and you're just making the hole wider at that point.
You hit bedrock and you're like, whoa, it's getting really hot down here, but you know what? Let's keep going.
I got a drill. Don't mind me.
Exactly. Just
This is also why a lot of people are calling 2018 the blue midterm. Midterms are the even years in between presidential elections. There's not a presidential election in 2018, but because of everything that's been happening this year, people are expected
snap referendum.
Well, people are just expecting everyone to knee-jerk from red to blue. That all of the Republicans are going to be replaced by Democrats, and it's going to continue to do the same damn cycle it always does.
I don't know. Roy Moore's still popular.
Can we not?
Trump still says that he's still supporting him.
Nathan.
Fucking rapist.
Hurts me.
3.
Billy Bush. Yes, Donald Trump. You said that.
This is submitted by Seguila84 to Our Politics.
Billy Bush, who used to work for Access Hollywood. Access Hollywood is the people that released the tape of Donald Trump during his presidential campaign where he said that he cannot control himself and that he grabs women by the pussy. And, well...
And they just let him do it.
Well, and he came out and apologized for it and then, tried to sweep it away because that's what everybody, not just politicians, just anyone in power does. I did something bad. Sorry, let's move on and forget about it. And that's kind of where that was. Some people didn't let it go, understandably. I don't think you should, regardless of who the person is. But it had kind of fallen by the wayside for a while, had gotten picked up a little bit more with the recent surge of the Me Too movement.
I mean, there's also, pending trials on it and everything.
Sure. And So, but then Trump started saying that he didn't say that the video and the audio was fabricated and that they'd used technology to fake his voice.
That it was fake news.
And so, yeah, and Billy Bush, who was on the bus, who was with the people that had the tape, was like, no, you said that. You don't need to try and deny it. It just makes you look worse.
It definitely does.
So, again, I don't even think it's going to matter, though. It's pretty damn irrelevant because, like, it's one of those situations of, like, it doesn't seem to matter. In a lot of cases, especially right now with our government, it doesn't seem to matter.
Which is really unfortunate because it really should matter.
Oh, yeah, it should. It should.
I feel like those people shouldn't be in positions of power because they've already shown that they can abuse their positions of power that they've had.
Yeah. Yeah.
2.
Lots of sighs today. Lots of sighs for me today. Of the 56 million abortions that take place worldwide every year, 45% are not considered safe by World Health Organization standards.
This is submitted by Sheep Herder to Our Science.
One interesting thing about this study that was conducted is that of those abortions that are not safe, the vast majority of them take place in the countries with the strictest abortion laws.
That's interesting.
Which is not the United States, by the way. United States has a 99% rate of safe abortions.
That's good.
Yeah. So
That other 5%, that's all from fucking Texas.
No, 99.
Oh, okay. That other 1%, that's all from Texas.
Yeah, it is almost completely. Well, I should say it says North America, which probably includes Canada as well in that. So that and most of the, I don't know what to refer to them as. Is like I don't know, but like Western Europe, Southern Europe, Northern Europe, almost all of Europe, it's a solid like 90 to 95% safe. Eastern Asia, again, really safe. There's only a few that are less. I say a few. It's probably tens of thousands. Is less safe. The places where it is bad is places where they either have very strict laws or, in the pattern that I see, they don't have as good of medical care. Eastern Africa, Middle Africa, Northern Africa, by far the largest places that have extremely unsafe abortion rates. The Caribbean, Central America, and South America, again, extremely unsafe abortion rates. So, yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. Yeah, that just means you got to get safe medicine out there so that they can have proper abortions.
So, I mean...
Among other things, of course, but...
The thing that surprised me more about this is that there are 56 million a year. That is a lot.
People like to have sex.
Oh, I know. I'm just surprised at the number. Like...
That's why we should be funding, Planned Parenthood, because it happens a lot.
I was baffled, and this isn't like some weird random complete because sometimes there'll be like stories that get super upvoted. It's like according to research done by Health Anonymous out of Somalia, this is what this says, and it's like really. This is conducted by the World Health Organization, the Department of Reproductive Health and Research, and the Guttmacher Institute, which I'm not sure the Guttmacher.
Yo, I would also like to point out, a lot of people get raped and they don't want to keep that child.
Oh, no, that's true. And that's unfortunate on one hand and acceptable for them not to want to keep it on the other hand. I'm just so amazed by the number. Like, I guess there's, 7 billion people in the world now, so...
It's huge.
Like...
56 million's nothing.
I mean, it's not nothing. That's a lot
Well,
of people.
okay, yeah, it's still a lot, but,
Yeah. So, interesting. It also makes it like with the vast number that happens, like it makes the debate over pro-life and pro-choice more interesting to me because of how huge of an amount it is. Because, for instance, like the reason that gun control is such an interesting topic in America is because of how many guns we have and how many people have guns. Like, difficult to do anything when there's more guns than there are people. So it makes the pro-life, pro-choice conversation extremely interesting when there's that many people.
Yeah, sure. I can get it.
Because I wouldn't have expected it to be anywhere near that large of an amount. Nowhere close.
So Chadwick in the chat says, or maybe we could talk about how we're killing 56 million people. Something like only 5% of that is rape, incest, or medical emergencies.
I mean, and that just goes into the pro-life, pro-choice discussion.
Yeah, it really does come down to whether or not you think they're people or not.
Yeah, and wherever you stand on that, I don't know if it's going to have, like, one, on a worldwide scale, don't think it's going to matter knowing how widespread it is, and two, I don't know. Because, no, I'm not going to get into it right now. Not going to get into it. We are already at 50 minutes. Need to move on.
Yeah.
1.
Why Hollywood's abandonment of Terry Crews is unacceptable.
This was submitted by IX0WXOEIP4V6 to our television.
So, one real quick thing to clarify is about the headline. It is not that they have abandoned him, okay? And it depends on your definition, I guess, of the word abandonment. He still is getting jobs. He's still getting roles. He's still a paid actor. Hollywood has not abandoned him in the sense that they are forcing him out. They have abandoned him in the sense of that he came out with his story and Hollywood has done nothing about it. So, like Harvey Weinstein, you know, there's been tons and tons of action and course taken on there. Ton of the other people that have had allegations against them, tons and stuff happening there. We found out that House of Cards is going to come back for a season 6, a sixth and final season. Kevin Spacey is not going to be on it. So why they're saying that he has been abandoned is because his claim is going, for the most part, ignored. The gentleman that he brought the allegations against, after being away from his job for 30 days over the controversy, has returned to work.
Wow, 30 days. That's not very much.
Yeah, and a lot of people who this man is their agent, they are still using him as an agent. One of the people that the internet was kind of yelling at today was Emma Stone. Emma Stone, who has talked about sexual assault and stuff like that, still uses this guy as her agent. And so everyone is, so now the call is like, why is Terry Crews being ignored? Is it because he's black? Is it because he's male? And a lot of people have also said, is it because the dude that his allegations against isn't somebody that is in the spotlight?
Damn, maybe all of the above in some fashion.
And it might be all of the above. And his last name is Vennett, but what's the dude's first name?
I don't know. Look up Terry Crews and the dude's name that you know of.
Adam. His name is Adam. So, and Adam Vennett he's an agent, an industry agent for Hollywood. He's got lots of people that he works for. Eddie Murphy, Emma Stone, Diane Keaton. These are all people that he is the agent for. And everyone is like, why is he getting a pass? Terry Crews, after finally coming out about it, is not he's doing everything he can to not let this guy get a pass. Because people he's talked to have said that, yes, he is like that. And he's like, okay, then why is my claim going ignored when these other ones are getting attention? The other thing that Terry Crews has begun to speak about is how there is, from his perception, there is a network of people that know about things and are like just doing everything they can to make it a story in the way that they want it. The biggest part of it that he has seen so far, he believes that the branch of LAPD that is in Hollywood has paid informants because when he went to file the claim, TMZ was waiting for him outside to ask him questions about it. And Terry Crews hadn't even told his wife yet.
That's fucking
And he's like, how did TMZ
crazy.
know, but my wife didn't?
Absolutely. I would be fucking pissed.
So he's pretty upset, and no one is really rallying to his side, and so the internet now has started to rally to his side. So if you want to be part of the Crews crew and jump on the Crews cruise, because the internet is, full of jokes like that.
Damn it, I love the fucking internet sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I only love a small portion of the internet. The other bits are dark and gross.
They're banding behind Terry Crews to offer him any support that they can.
That's awesome.
I wish you luck, Terry Crews. You are, in my eyes, what appears to be a rather fantastic individual. You're super nice, super funny, and really good at your job. And I hope
a really good father.
Yeah, I hope you find
really good at
success
painting.
in what you are attempting. You've already found success in Hollywood, and as a human being, you had a good run in the NFL. You found even better success in Hollywood. Now I hope that you find success on this venture because it is a very difficult and trying time.
Don't stop dancing.
All right. Still going, still going. Wrong is quite correct when I hit that button when I didn't mean to.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Come meet a black person is a real thing.
This is submitted by Oat2K6 to our iReddit cast. What?
Yeah, they're serious, by the way. They're absolutely serious. So in Georgia, good old Georgia, because they don't feel like, because like I mean, what they are finding is that a lot of white people have white friends and a lot of black people have black friends. So if you would like to break the barriers for an admission fee of $15, people who don't have any black friends are invited to the Come Meet a Black Person event hosted by Urban Media Makers.
Yo. All right, I don't want to scream that's a ripoff, but I think they're trying to fucking rip off these white folk.
Well, and also there's a lot of black people like, excuse me? We're not like entertainment or props or like a sideshow that you come to see.
Oh, absolutely. I would be fucking pissed if they were like, come meet a white person. I mean, I would still go to it, but like, absolutely livid I would be there.
I'm amazed. Like, this is one of the things that, like, you thought this was a good idea? What?
Yo, I bet it was
do
a bunch
this?
of people trying to capitalize on racism.
Maybe, I don't know. And I mean, it got us to talk about it. It'll get lots of traffic purely off of its name. So, and people will probably go purely to see what it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Because how could you not?
Yeah,
I'm not dead.
An artificially intelligent machine has composed a lullaby.
It was submitted by Chadwick via email. No.
I realized that I should try and pull it up on my iPad so that I can play it and you can hear it. So if you'll give me just a moment. In any case, these are researchers at the AXA-PPP Healthcare, and you know they found that
they shouldn't exist. All right.
Well, they found that
goddamn terrifying.
they found that a lot of people, you know, struggle getting to sleep, which I think is pretty true. A lot of people do have sleeping problems.
Uh-huh.
And if I can open the link.
Yo, it starts with singing a lullaby, right? It ends with a goddamn corpse sitting on a bed and a robot saying, "I did not know what happened."
Well, they have two things here. One, they have one lullaby that was composed by what's his name? Oh Lord, where'd it go?
It has a what?
No,
it has
they had an actual composer, Eddie McGuire, compose a lullaby. And then they had this machine that learned through neural scans as well as being taught how music works. They had it compose a lullaby. I'm not going to play the whole things, assuming that I can actually get this to open the way that I want to. Where's the article at? Oh, no. It opened as a white blocks on my iPad. Wait a minute. Am I getting an ad on my iPad? Is that what's happening here? I'm so confused. I realize that because I wanted you to be able to hear it, but this is making this really complicated because of the way that some things interact on mobile.
Okay.
Well, because literally the whole article is here, but it is just a block of white text.
Oh, weird. Awkward.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because of Wi-Fi, maybe? I don't know. Can I easily turn that off so that I can just use the actual internet? I'm going to try one more time real quick. Otherwise, then you just won't get to hear it, and I'm just going to play it through my computer speakers.
That's creepy.
There it goes. Yeah, that was the problem. Video loading. Okay, so the first one that I'm going to play, and I'm not, again, like I said, I'm not going to play the whole thing. The first video is the lullaby composed by Eddie McGuire. Where'd it go? This thing is so janky on mobile. Okay, so this is the one composed by Eddie McGuire, assuming that it'll load properly. Maybe. It says it's loading. Here we go. Okay. There's 2 more minutes. So that's the one that was composed by an actual person. And I'm going to play a little bit now of the one that was composed by an artificial intelligence machine. Assuming that it'll play. So, and they asked that everyone listen, try sleeping to both, see which one you found success with, if at all. Maybe. We're trying. We're getting there. Maybe. I'm not the lullaby.
I'll tell you what, it's fucking terrifying already.
You don't want me to lullaby it. This video is bad or in a format that cannot. What do you mean? Like, I literally played the other video on this. How is this not the same? Telling me you put these in 2 different video formats? God. Mirror.co.
I put those in 2 different video formats.
Mirror.co.uk, you guys, you make me sad.
You make me sad.
Unfortunately, I am using the iPad to try to load this, so I can't play that soundbite. But mirror.co.uk, you make me sad. Well, Nathan, you are going to be spared listening to it, because I'm just going to play it through my computer.
Thank God, because it's fucking terrifying.
Sure. Oh, yeah, sure.
I can hear it.
I'm going to stop it there. It's not bad, considering it wasn't made by a person. I think the notes are a little sharp in terms of, like, sounds like someone's really tugging on them strings. Not bad. I will probably listen to more of it later.
It's fucking terrifying. It is the beginning of the end of the world.
You will suffer with the rest of us.
Robot uprisings, I'm telling you!
Yep, exactly. Okay, we are well over time. Got into some conversations today. We're going to get out of here. We will be having a guest joining us tomorrow, and we will have a guest joining us on Thursday, presuming that everything runs along smoothly and the way that it's supposed to. Please remember, everybody, that we are hosting an AMA, and Ask Me Anything, a Q&A, whatever you would like to talk about it. We will be answering your questions this Thursday. Nope, not this Thursday. I'm quite wrong. Next Thursday, episode 400. So please submit your questions anywhere that you can get in contact with us, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, friggin' email, feedback.ireadit@gmail.com, phone call, 508-738-2278, direct message me, direct message Nation, direct message the show, wherever you want to get it. It's on YouTube. All of those, just find a place to send it to us, and we will accumulate those and answer your questions on episode 400. Otherwise, support us on Patreon, patreon.com/dailyinternet. And follow us on all of those places that I already mentioned. And that is it, everybody. That's your 393rd dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwan.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
And I'm going to get back to the thing real quick. And please remember, everybody,
Don't get eliminated!
have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Too many cooks will spoil the broth.